with such a connection with City?
Yeah, I think it was a good game. Obviously, we wanted to win the game. We wanted to continue the win that we got at Tottenham last week. That's exactly the mentality we went out there and done. We fought, we went behind, kept coming back, and that showed the mentality of us.
Cole, for you?
Yeah, very, very strange. The first time I played against City since I left. But yeah, I've got the utmost respect for the club that I spent 15 years at. It was nice to see some friends. I'm lucky not to get a win, but yeah, it was another great game.
I wonder if they all think it was nice to see you. I mean, you must have family, friends at home fuming at the moment with you and your equaliser.
Yeah, probably got many City fans, I know. But yeah, it's a game, innit?
For both of you, actually, Raheem, it looked like you weren't 100% sure whether to celebrate or not when you got your goal.
Yeah, I scored, and obviously scoring is a good feeling, and you remember it's your old club, so you don't try to overdo it.
Yeah. How did you feel? Stood over that penalty?
Yeah, a long time waiting, but I felt confident. I've got a few penalties now.
You haven't, you? The last few weeks, been a few.
Just keep calm. I was 90 something minute it was, so just get focus and yeah, strike.
You looked unbelievably composed, and it was a really cool penalty.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I work on him because I don't. I just trust him and natural abilities, and yeah, thankfully he went in.
Does it feel like a big breakthrough moment for the team, Raheem?
I'd say
this on the back of Spurs.
Yeah, I said it's just building. I think since the manager's come here, that's what we've been trying to do is build slowly but surely. There's been some setbacks, but I think we've continued to work even after some disappointing results, and you can see we're making those steps little by little, and long may it continue.
And you are, I mean, you have all season to be fair, but you played today like a man possessed. Is part of that trying to not prove people wrong because you had a great time at City, but just show people how good you are?
I said I had a great time at City. I think people know what I can do. And with the foundation the manager's laid out here, just go out here and perform. And I think that's the building block the team's doing. It's just good to be part of it.
Yeah, you touched on it already, Cole. I think you said it was weird, but the whole experience of playing your old team, of playing City, the club you've been at all your life.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was excited before the game to see faces and show what I can do. It was a great game. As Raz said, we went behind, I think, a few times and bounced back. So yeah, it was a good game. Huge
display of character, wasn't it, Raheem? Well, you got something in your eye? What's going on here?
No, something
crazy game followed by crazy... Oh, you've got... Come here. You've got grass in your eye.
You're going to put some more dirt in my eye. But no, yeah. What did you say, sorry?
I've got absolutely no idea. What did I say?
Cole's man of the match.
Cole is man of the match. Cole is match. Should we do that?
Yeah.
Player of the match, Cole Palmer.
Okay, thank you.
Draws in the games you mentioned, of course, going away as well to Spurs, and at the time they were the league leaders. That gives you a lot of belief as well. So I think they're gradually... It was never going to happen overnight, Steve. Never. Chelsea have been in the doldrums for a bit too long for that to happen. But I think now we're starting to see a proper Chelsea team.
All square between Brighton and Sheffield United. Liverpool back to winning ways. So too West Ham. And then Chelsea 4, Manchester City 4, courtesy of that equaliser from the former City player Cole Palmer in the 95th minute. Sheffield United may only have got a point today at Brighton, but it does psychologically lift them off the bottom. Burnley now propping up the division, then Sheffield United, then Luton, the three promoted teams all in the relegation zone. So at the top, we go into the international break with the champions on top, but only by a point because of that penalty by Cole Palmer. They're 1 clear of Liverpool and Arsenal, 2 clear of Spurs, and now only 3 clear of Aston Villa, who are up to 5th, courtesy of another 3 points at Villa Park. Manchester United in the top 6 by 1 point. Right on the stroke of half-time, City level. Then 91 seconds into the second half, Haaland again, then back came Chelsea for 3-3. It looked as though Rodri's deflected shot had won it with 3 minutes of the 90 to go. But then Cole Palmer, who you just heard from, in the 95th minute against his former club with his 4th Premier League penalty in 5 games to get a point for Chelsea. Just a quick one, you understand why they don't want to celebrate against their old club?
Sort of, yeah. A little bit of mark of respect. Sort of, I say, because I think it's all, you're at a new club now. They're your new teammates. It's your job. You should be happy to score. Of course, I don't advocate running in front of your...
OK, right. Are we all OK with the awarding of this penalty in the 95th minute?
For me, yes. I think Broja does fantastically, to be honest with you, because he leaves his chop so late that Diaz actually thinks he's going to shoot and slides into him. So, for me, yeah, it's definitely a penalty.
Centre-halves for you?
Yeah, I mean, what is it, 3 minutes left in the game. Strikers looks like he's about to shoot. You panic and rush back in and try and get in the way of the ball. And
when you go in like that, he did get a little...
Rush back in and try and get in the way of the ball. And
when you go in like that, he did get a little time this.
Yeah, you do. I think probably Diaz will say himself. He's just what
for me. I think, Diaz does get a touch of the ball. Diaz does get a touch of the ball. If the ball then moves into an area whereby a shot on target can't be taken, then and Broja's still about to have a shot, so it's got to be a penalty when he brings him down. And the coolness of this guy is unbelievable.
Listen to this. He had a 4-minute wait in the 95th minute against the club where he spent 15 years. Give us a sense of the mentality and the calmness he's shown there.
That's him. He's from when I've met him, the way I've seen him play, he's a very, very laid-back person. He seems to take everything in his stride, and any pressures that are there, he welcomes them. Like, for him, that he would have enjoyed that moment, not just putting the ball in the back of the net, being that person that they've lent on to take that penalty.
To give you some indication, as soon as the penalty was, as you mentioned, there was 4 minutes of wait, and I said to Sean, "Do you fancy him here?" He goes, "He's born for this occasion. He's so confident. He loves this type of pressure. He knows him as well as anybody." And it played out that way. It was so cool, such pressure for the young lad, but he didn't bat an eyelid.
Indeed, just 21 years of age. OK, we've got some Chelsea reaction.
Entertained again. Just the 4 goals to rattle through at half-time today. Micah, first of all, penalty for City. Key decision from Anthony Taylor, given on field, which means that VAR have to found a clear and obvious error.
Yeah, well, you see there James and Casiano go down, so a little bit stuck at the back post there. But it's just, if we see it on this angle here, when Cucurella puts his arm on the Haaland there, that's fine. And Haaland's got a hold of him, but he just carries on. And because it was given on field, I don't think it's a clear and obvious mistake. So he has to give the penalty kick. And I think it's soft. I think Chelsea fans will feel aggrieved, but it's not a clear and obvious mistake. So it has to be a penalty.
Was the verdict, and he was the coolest, calmest man inside Stamford Bridge and puts it away. But a brilliant response from Chelsea. Where from?
Very much so. I think when you talk about a set piece, you can see that they constructed this. You've got people blocking on the front post, and Thiago Silva guides this. You see Cole Palmer there, and I think Cucurella are blocking on the front post. Thiago Silva edges it right off the corner of his head, and he just guides it into the far corner. Fantastic finish.
And then you see the confidence flooding through Chelsea.
Yeah, long ball. You see here the counter pressing. They picked up that ball there, played it out to Palmer, and you see Reece James and Doku out there. And Reece James is, as I said before the game, is a danger man. Messed up at the back there with Bardio, but Sterling is in the centre of the goal. It's the key position to be as the far winger. Whenever you see that other side, the key is to be in the central position within the post to be able to have a tap-in. And a much-deserved goal for Raheem today has been fantastic.
He certainly has. He's been so bright, and a City-style finish at the back post, as Jamie Carragher was pointing out on commentary. Chelsea thinking they've got through to half-time, in the ascendancy, but Micah, the sucker punch just before the break.
Yeah, short corner, and Chelsea look like they're zonal. And just as you see on the second angle here, Akanji, maybe Fernandes, is supposed to be blocking, but because the play's materialised, he pushes up, leaves that gap just in between, and it's a wonderful finish. 2-2. What a game we've got on our hands.
Daniel, talk us through this header.
Listen, man, it was an absolute glorious header. He just guides it in there, man. It's like the angle as well. It just looked beautiful.
So, 2-2 at the bridge. Let's get right back into it. First of all, penalty. What are we thinking? Let's go along the line.
What a game. No? What a game, first of all. I thought that Haaland dragged Cucurella out first and he's retaliated with the push. I think that's a harsh penalty. Not a penalty for me.
If that had been given against you, if you were Mark Cucurella there?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been a bit hard done by. You see the initial contact, it's Haaland pulling Cucurella, so he gains an advantage and get ahead of him. Cucurella tries to get back in by pulling him back. and gets the penalty given against him. So harshly done by, I think.
They're both at it, aren't they?
I have to agree with the guys. I think it is harsh. If this most probably happens once or twice every game in the Premier League, so if you start giving penalties to that, it will happen too often.
Okay, let's just... Haaland scores the goal. Let's just clear up what happened there. The referee, Anthony Taylor, thought it was a penalty on field. His assistant, Gary Bezic, qualified that in his ear, and then Jared Gillett in VAR checked, and he was happy, and obviously Haaland dispatched it. You're happy with that process?
Yeah, but what I would just add to that is if the referee didn't give it, I don't think they would have gone to VAR and said, go and check it, it's a penalty. I just think it's one of those which, whatever the on-field decision was, that's what they were going to stay with.
I think we agree that Haaland was fouled, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
The initial foul was on Cucurella before Cucurella then fouled Haaland.
Okay.
Exactly.
What about Chelsea's response? The corner from which they scored from a fabulous save, first of all, from Ederson.
It's a magnificent save from Ederson. Obviously, Reece James, is good, but the run from Thiago Silva here is brilliant. And where he puts the ball in that side netting is such a hard task.
Yeah, this is the area that he's aiming for. It's really interesting. Alvarez actually gets dragged out to start with. And then there's some real blocking, grabbing from Cucurella. And that's what enables that space to be attacked. And who better to attack it than him? I mean, he's only this... Yeah, he scores so many headed goals. So it was a well-worked corner kick from Chelsea.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's something they've worked on. The two lads in the front zone, blocking, grabbing, whatever you want to call it. But then a fantastic header from Thiago Silva, who's done it many times.
Who now is the fourth oldest goal scorer in Premier League history. Then they took the lead. Raheem Sterling's first goal against his former club. How did you see this one?
There was a lot happening. Walker initially does well. A missed kick from Diaz. And then even here, I think Guardiola reads the pass, but the pass is short and that kills him in a way. But the final ball from Reece James, we know his capabilities, was fantastic. And then here, this is where it is. Walker header now. Diaz is there, miss it. He's got to clear that for me. And you see, Guardiola, he goes, so he reads the pass, but the pass is kind of under hit, and Reece James latches onto that. And as we know, Sterling at the back stick, and calm and composed taps in.
Walker, ball watching, James?
Yeah, I think he's expected Guardiola to deal with it.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to defend the maybes, as Sean Dyche would like to say. And he doesn't there, and in that circumstance, Sterling gets a tap in like he does.
So, Akanji scores then right on the stroke of half-time. What about the way Chelsea defended this?
Yeah, so I think you see Enzo Fernandez sort of guesses that it's going to get squared, so I think it's Foden on the edge, and he rushes out, leaving his man Akanji, who then is free in the middle of the box, and it's a terrific header, but his marker's gone, so he's got a free run at it. But it's a terrific header because they're not as easy to look.
Yeah, it was a good spot from James. He spotted that, saying he was going to be passed across to Foden, and then he leaves his man. But take nothing away from Akanji. It's a lovely header, makes it look easy.
So you've come back, Manchester City, at an important time there, right on the stroke of half-time.
No better time to equalise in a way. I think they can regroup now. Pep we know what he's like. He will have noticed things within that game that he would want to change, and hopefully they come out and start the way they finished.
Bridge shortly, 2-2 between Chelsea and Manchester City. We're going to go back to the first awarding of the penalty. Prior to that, there was an incident with Doku into Caicedo into Reece James. Did they have any case for anything here, James, do you think?
I'm not too sure there's a foul. I feel like the way Reece James goes down and stays still, he's potentially trying to say that he's injured. And you see players put their hands on the head in the circumstances, the ref's got to stop play. But he sort of goes down, maybe being injured, and then realises the whistle's not been blown and starts to get back up before he knows that the penalty's been given.
I have to agree with James there, but I think in respect to Reece James, like, if you ain't really hurt in that situation, you've got to get up, because I think if he gets up, that cross doesn't come in as clear as it does. This is not as easy as that for Bernardo to hit, and he could have prevented a goal there.
True thing, could have been either. It could have been a lot of starring roles out there this afternoon from both sides, Chelsea and Manchester City. Jamie Carragher's joined us. You've had the time to walk from the gantry to here to collect your thoughts. How do you sum it up?
Brilliant. It's just the Premier League at its best, and you're thinking of the game that we all watched last Monday, and everyone felt like they were talking about that game for days afterwards. I think this will be the same. It was fantastic, and it just felt right that Chelsea got the equaliser. I know Man City fans would be disappointed, but it just felt like there shouldn't be a winner in that game. It was just that good. Credits to both players. I think I heard you on comms saying it was a privilege to be here. It was the same for me in the commentary box.
For all of us, though, wasn't it, Daniel?
Very much so. I think the game provided everything we probably didn't expect, you know, in terms of how many goals, back and forth. You know, we expected probably City would have controlled the game a lot more, but it seemed as if it was almost like a basketball game in football form, where it was back and forth, chances, barging, all types of stuff going on. It was such an exciting game to watch.
But you said before the game you thought Chelsea would get something. What made you think that today?
I just think they've done really well in the big games. I thought there's, you know, when you talk about atmospheres at certain stadiums, maybe I've commentated here maybe more than other places, but I always feel like it can get going here at Chelsea when they get up ahead of steam and put a bit of pressure on. And I think in some ways it also shows how good City are, because I don't think City were anywhere near the best. And Chelsea, I thought, were fantastic, but it still finishes 4-4. You know, that still shows the sort of probably the gulf between, you know, both teams, really, and that's there. But I think what Pochettino's done in big games is fantastic. I think you can almost see him as a manager going up against Klopp, Guardiola, Mikel Arteta, and he hasn't quite got the tools that they've got. I know they spent a lot of money, people will say that, but he hasn't. And when you look at the team on paper and the setup, it's still short of what the other top teams have got. But what they've done in big games, I think, is a real feather in the cap of the manager.
We do talk, Jamie, don't we, about points against the traditionally managed 4 in 10 games last season, and that's 8 in 4 games already. So they've doubled it in 4 games, what they managed across all of last season already. They've got a point against Arsenal and Liverpool. They've won at Spurs. Sorry, I've got it. I've given them victory here.
Trying to work that out there.
6 points they've got already. And with Manchester City, it's not the kind of game that we sort of associate with them. That's almost lack of control.
Yeah, I think it's more down to Chelsea and what they did. Obviously, they had a game plan. They wanted to be energetic. They wanted to press. And a lot of teams, when they play Man City, they just sit back and go in that low block and say, OK, break us down. Chelsea was like, not today. We're going to have a go. And the way Man City play, because they dominate the ball so high up on the pitch, there's always areas where you can counter-attack. And with Sterling and Cole Palmer up there, it's just always going to cause teams problems.
Let's bring you more reaction. And the first from the Manchester City dressing room. Here's Rodri with Patrick Davison.
Rodri, what a crazy game. Do you even know how to feel about it? Stood here right now, a couple of minutes after it's finished.
Well, we feel a bit exhausted, to be honest. These kind of games with that rhythm. Yeah, we knew how tough it's come here. The team they built, of course. They have great players. They sign massive players, like 5, 6, 7, and the level of the team has rise. So we knew where we come. I think it wasn't our best performance today. I think individually we could look more to ourselves, because concede 4 goals is not normal for us. But at the same time, we keep pushing. Sometimes football is like this. You have to move forward and then try to score. At the end, we score 4. But I think we have to correct some mistakes.
So why did it become that kind of game? I think you said rhythm. Why did it have that sort of rhythm, that fast rhythm that it did?
Yeah, because I think we play what they want. They want to play quick transitions, and they are better players in better team in that situations. They are faster players, stronger. We have another type of players. We have to move the game to our side, try to play our game, and I think we will struggle.
So how could you have stopped that? How could you have stopped it becoming a transition game?
Well, not losing all the balls we lost, being more patient, having more the balls. As I say, I think individual performance of each. But we are a team. We support each other. We move forward, and even though it wasn't the best day, we keep pushing.
Were you though? I mean, obviously disappointed to concede 4, but really pleased with the way you attacked.
Yeah, and thinking that we were very, very close to win this game. Yeah, a bit disappointed with this fact, but you know, we have the feeling sometimes when we are not ourselves that the result, of course, we want to win is important, but we know if we want to win what we have to do. And I think, yeah, of course, big credit for the opponent, because they also have good players, and they play here at home. They make pressure. We're the treble winners. Everyone wants to be there, so it's the situation. But we go to the national team with 1 point ahead, first in the league. So yeah, refreshed to the comeback.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There will be obvious disappointment, won't there, Micah, in the City dressing room, conceding 4 goals, letting a lead slip so late in a game?
Yeah, I think normally, if you look at the goals that Rodri scored, remember the late one against Arsenal, he obviously scored in the Champions League final. So when he scored today, I think it's game done. City will just manage the game like they normally do, keep the ball. But it wasn't meant to be. I mean, this Chelsea side, and I said it from the start of the season, there's something special, something's brewing with them. They've got a right manager, they've got young players who want to create something, be on the front foot. So I always thought it would be dangerous, but, you know, a point away, you can't complain.
I thought you'd be enthused. You're really enthused about Chelsea.
No, I just love them. I just love watching. I think since the manager come in, you can see what normally when managers come in and you're thinking, oh, it takes them 6 months, a year to stamp their authority and what they want to do. I can see what Chelsea are trying to do with the fullbacks and the midfield rotation, the way they want to press from the front. And Chelsea have actually played well this season, but they've not finished off the chances. The difference now is, against Spurs, against today, they're finishing off the chances. Simple as that.
Well, we did promise we will relive that. We will do that if you joined it late.
And from Stamford Bridge, I'm Derek Ray, joined in the commentary box by Lee Dixon, and we've got Premier League action coming right up. It is Chelsea facing Manchester City.
Yeah, thanks, Derek, as always. Pleasure to be here. I have to say, the atmosphere is fantastic in here, and I'm anticipating a really good game today. Hopefully, we won't be disappointed.
Oh, big chance! Surely! In it goes! An early goal! No wonder they're celebrating!
Well, here's the replay, and it's a lovely through ball to set up the chance. And then through on goal, do you go for placement or do you go for power? Well, he certainly wasn't messing around, was he? Absolutely smashes it past the keeper. It's a really lovely finish. Really, really top draw.
He's driven in the corner. And that's a straightforward stop. Chilwell. Delightful pass. And he's found a bit of daylight. It's got to be. Oh, yes! A goal! Exactly what they were looking for, and he's come up with it.
Well, as we look at this again, the keeper's every right to ask where his back line was, but 2v1 in the end. He's thinking now, is he going to pass or go round me? He's got no chance.
Well, a second goal for them here. Gabriel Jesus. Gundogan. Gabriel Jesus now. De Bruyne. It's with Joao Cancelo. That's how to blunt the edge of the opposing attack. This might be the perfect counter-attacking opportunity. He's in with a chance. Pulls it back. And a goal here! There it is! They've done it!
Well, here's the replay. He's done really well to get his head up and pick out a teammate. And that eventually leads to what amounts to a simple task of rounding the goalkeeper. 2v1. There's only one winner.